So here, I've been posed a question: who's your favorite leader, favorite business leader, and why? And I know you were sharing with me Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get started, right?
Yeah, sure. Mine is obviously Elon Musk. I've been following him right from his earlier
Why?
days. See, he's a leader who takes a complex problem, breaks down to basic, minimal structure that everybody can understand, and solves that problem to solve a bigger problem. All right? See, the companies that he runs, right? Electric car, Tesla, rocket companies, SpaceX, means there are huge engineering problems. But if you break it down to actual absolute physics, right? If you solve individual components, then together you make a better product. And with that, and he also hires the best people with him, all right? They take the best engineers out of college, train them, put into that, and they make absolutely wonderful products, right? So
That's You know how many employees of Twitter left after he took over? If you ask Twitter employees, they'll tell you how good of a leader he was, right? And the losses Twitter is having. No, I think you have your reasons for saying. I think he's a good scientist, perhaps, good problem solver, not necessarily a good leader. To me, a good leader, like the people say, some people say Steve Jobs. He's built great products, he's built great companies, but how much, his leadership contributed to building those great companies, I doubt it, right? But still, I would say he, by far, out of all the people that I have read about, I would rate Steve Jobs as a good, leader. And because he also set up a culture where not just him, but his entire company. See, in Elon Musk's case, you don't hear about anybody else. Now, what is going to happen after he dies, or after he goes away, or after, we don't know. We don't know. He may have, we don't know at least. In case of Steve Jobs, there are many people, even during those times, we used to hear about in his company, right? Who went to other companies and who did great. And who carried that culture, actually, the problem-solving culture. Some people talk about this, that I think it was Simon Sinek. Some people say he's a good leader. I don't think he's a leader. He's not built anything. He talks well. He's a good motivator. One of his talks where I understood that he had gone both at Microsoft, those days of Microsoft conference, and an Apple conference. He said in Microsoft conference, the entire management team was talking about how to beat the competition, which was Apple. How to beat Apple. They say better Zoom device, better this, those days a Zoom device, and this and that, better this, better that. And he said even he was he kind of, they both were in a car together. He was car together with a Microsoft executive, and the guy was saying that, and he asked him, "What is the next best thing you guys are doing?" And showed him a Zoom device. It was a great device, better than iPod those days, right? But still, we never heard about it, right? And he said then he went to Apple conference, and there they were talking about how to solve customers' problem, their client, teachers. They were big in education market in those days, right? So how to make better tools for students to learn, teachers to teach. They were focused on that, right? To me, the leadership, even now, Elon Musk, I also follow him, by the way, and I have a lot of respect for him. But you cannot put your finger on any style that he has. He's ruthless, he's rude, he's hardworking. Other than that, you can't say any other quality, right? His complex problem, yes, himself, he, me, right? Whereas in case of Apple, there's a company which is known to solve customers' problem in a unique way, right? And I'm just, not justifying, but just saying that's kind of why I felt when I look at everybody. And of course, there are many other leaders, and Elon Musk, of course, is right up there. He has done very well for himself and created great companies, great things. But I think I would rate people like Steve Jobs, and now I think new generations. You see the guys like Satya Nadella. And how, Microsoft, you've been a fan of. I think you can say that you've been a fan of Microsoft. Now I'm a fan of Microsoft. You always used to say that, right? That Microsoft used to be Microsoft, used to be Apple. I switched from Microsoft. But now I think if you next time, if you find me, if I ever use a smart tablet, I'll use Surface. I have iPad, I never use it. I don't know why they have so many different operating systems. MacBook has a different operating system. This has different. I find there is no room for tablet in my life, because if I use a Max Pro, I'm good enough. If I ever use, I'll use Surface, because at least it's different.